Yo, what is up guys, MrPantaloons here with the Opera Omnia video. So today we are going to talk about the last chapters, specifically Squall, Vanille and Setzer, and oh boy, these are quite hard. Like the hard mode, that is pretty difficult, man. Now, we did not complete everything, and I do not have the actual gameplay because it's really messy, man. We played hours and hours, and we had to do multiple runs. It was excruciatingly hard, and we are not quite there in terms of power, so we've been struggling quite a bit with this. But let's go ahead and jump into Squall last chapter. So we have Squall, Tifa and Zidane boosted right here. So obviously Squall is pretty much the MVP, or one of the MVPs. It's actually Squall and probably, I'm guessing, Aiko. Aiko is also really good in these three last chapters, which kind of got me, it was a nice surprise. But obviously I do not have Aiko, and yeah, she did not do that well for me. But anyway, let's go ahead and yeah, move on. We got Squall and then Zidane. I've actually used Zidane. I do have his 35 CP, so he helped me. And then Tifa, she's probably not that helpful, unfortunately. So let's jump into the Squall last chapter and see how we did. So I'm gonna show you what I did to complete my missions, or the ones that I could complete because I was not able to complete everything. And then we're going to put some links to some different strategies of people who have completed everything. So we got that going. So for Squall event, let's see. For Squall event, there's not much to say. Like, it's the easiest one. I don't think there's any need to talk about the lower level ones. Let's see. We got behemoths. It's not too big of a deal. So my main team that I used for the Squall last chapter, as you can see, this is the final one, the level 90, which we did manage to complete with a 23k score. You got double great behemoths, or Gaia behemoths, I guess. And the strategy is it's not too big of a deal, right? You don't have too many mechanics that you need to worry about. I guess the stone can be quite annoying because it delays your targets, or it delays your character's turn by one. And then the Earthshaker, anytime they do the Earthshaker, you have to pretty much dump your HP or dump your bravery and do HP damage, because he's not going to break your characters. He reduces the target bravery by 75%, and he gains a set amount, and actually he doesn't steal that bravery, right? So that 75%, he doesn't actually steal it, he only reduces it. So even if you have some bravery left over, it's not going to steal that bravery. But do keep in mind that they will still gain some bravery after they use their Earthshaker. So that's pretty much it with the Gaia Behemoth. You can use MLB Squall support and it will be just fine. So the teams I've actually used for Squall last chapter is pretty much this one. It's Tidus, Zidane with the 35 CP and the synergy boost, obviously, and then the Cloud with his Ogrenix right there. My Cloud does have the Diamond Bangle Door, almost MLB 2 out of 3, and I do have some really good passives on this guy. I got, as you can see, attack 65, mighty cross slash, some more max bravery, some more attack, and then some more attack again. But then we also have Zidane. He's got some crazy good passives right here. Attack max bravery, attack max bravery, attack max bravery. He is boosted up quite a bit. And then Tidus, he is also crazy good with his passives. Max bravery, mighty slash, attack, max bravery, initial bravery. So they were enough, right? Although I did have problems on this one specifically. Now the support that I used was MLB Squall, and I do recommend to get an MLB Squall just like this one right here. MLB Squall, he is amazing, right? Especially for his last chapter, because he has his synergy. So you can pretty much use your Ifrit Ideally, you want to have Ifrit, use your Ifrit, summon your, or you should summon your Squall first, then use your Ifrit, so he gains the boost from the Ifrit, and then you can pretty much one-shot Gaia Behemoth with only Squall alone. And let's see, I think, yeah, for this one I was having problems, but I think what I did is I swapped my Cloud for Ace 35 CP, because we just got the Ace event pretty soon after the Lost Chapter event, right? So I think I brought in Ace 35 CP, and it was very easy after that. So that is pretty much for Lost Chapter Squall. So not too big of a deal there. Completed everything, got all the armor tokens. Now let's move on to the next one, and I guess we should do a vanille one, even though we should probably hold this one for the last, because this one is really hard, man, and we did not actually manage to do much here, or I guess we did something, but not as much as the other one. So here we got Vanille, Yuna, and Hope, who are the synergy boosted ones. Now Hope is probably mandatory here, I want to say. Hope is really good here, and then Vanille is also really nice with the Dispel on the Berserker Armor. Yuna is not that good. I wanted to use her, but I ended up not using her. So let's go ahead and jump into the mission here. So let me see. Is this part 1? Alright, so part 1, you got the turtle, you got the Berserker Armor. I think this one I just killed the turtle and then did the Berserker Armor. Now a few tips on the Berserker Armor. Okay, let's see. So he's got the flurry, the berserk, the haste. You kind of have to be careful about the haste as well, because that speed up can really slow down your turn. So you kind of have to be careful about the haste. But then obviously you have to be careful about the berserk. And berserk, as you probably know, he only does berserk if you break him. So one strategy you can do is try not to break the boss as best as you can. And sometimes, like, let's see, where is my team here? So the team that I've been using most of the time, I want to say it's this one. I've been using like 3 different teams. I think Hope, Vanille, and Titus was my best one. So I have the MLB Waka Ball, so I use that on my Hope, and then he's got his 4-star synergy boosted armor piece right there as well. In terms of passives, I used his Hope Testament. I didn't really use, I guess I did have Quick Protect, but didn't have Quick Shell there. Charges, obviously Protect, Attack Up, Bravery Shell, bonus attack, and then I did get as much HP as I could. And I do recommend, if you're really struggling, you probably want some more HP, because that HP will help you last longer in the fight. Like if you're dying, you probably want these HP passives, right? I even took out some max bravery out just to be able to put as much HP as I can, because the Berserker Armor he's really hard, man, and he hits pretty hard as well. So that was my Hope with the MLB Waka Ball. Then Vanille with a level 20 Vivi Staff. Vanille, without her weapons, she is kind of underwhelming. She doesn't really do much. Even her D-Protect, like, you only debuff for 2 turns, which is not quite efficient. 22 turns is very few, and then it has 6 uses, which I guess is nice. But you do have to keep in mind that D-Protect without her weapon hits very low numbers, like it's like 80% of her attacks, so it hits less than her normal attacks. And then Dispel is obviously why you bring Vanille in here. Her Dispel just to remove the Berserker Armor and possibly the haste buff. But honestly, I think the best strategy is when you see that the Berserker Armor is using the haste buff, you want to try to break it. Although I wasn't really able to do that, because just my characters don't deal enough damage. Because what happens is, if he puts that haste buff, you might be in trouble, right? Because he's gonna be a lot faster, so you might want to dispel that haste buff. But what you can do is you can break the Berserker Armor before he uses his haste. So what then happens is, instead of using haste, he's going to use Berserk. So you're still gonna dispel, but then you can dispel his Berserk, you know. So it's like you're getting some advantage off of that, because you get that break bonus, you get some more bravery, you can deal some more damage, right? So that is one of the strats, but I guess we'll talk about the strategy more in detail once we get to the later missions. So for my Vanille, I actually used Oerba's Miracle with the 20 CP here. This is her level 50, so it reads with at least 50% HP, KO is avoided and HP drops 1. Now I want to say that this can be useful sometimes, but honestly most of the time this didn't really help me out. Like, yes, it can save your Vanille, but afterwards, obviously with 1 HP, she's most likely going to die anyway, so it's really hit or miss, right? And for 20 CP you probably don't want to use this one if you have something better. So it looks like I took it off, and what do I have? I got some weird passives here, didn't really farm artifacts for my Vanille. We got the Charge, the Mighty, got the Bravery. I guess I put the Bravery Dispel after I took out the Miracle there. Then we got Charge, Deep Protect, some more passives here, defense, and as much HP as I can, as you can see here. And then all this other stuff. So that is my Vanille. Not very good. Only a level 20 VV staff, unfortunately, but she is kinda needed just for that dispel, just because Berserker Armor is really annoying. And then finally my Tidus. So my Tidus, let me see. Hold on one second. Gotta find my thing here. Alright, sorry about that. Okay, we're good. So let's see, Hope, Vanille, Tidus. Yeah, this was my best team pretty much. So Tidus, well, I already showed you my Tidus. He is really good, but the main thing is his debuffs, right? Like his triple debuffs, like his speed down, his attack down, his defense down for 6 turns are really useful, right, on the boss, because you put that defense down, and then even though he deals physical, which the Berserker Armor resists, he still gets the benefit of the defense down, and more importantly, Hope and Vanille, they both get the benefit of that defense down. So it really helps in terms of total damage throughout your party. So that was my most successful party, but I did use Hope, Vanille, Ramza, and I also used, what else? Did I use anything else? I guess I was planning to use Hope, Vanille, Yuna, but I didn't use it because I don't think it's that different. It's pretty much the same thing. I don't think Yuna, especially since I don't really have anything for her, she's not going to be of any more use to me. And I did try Aiko. Let me show you real quick here. So my Aiko, I don't have her weapon, so since I don't have her weapon, she is very underwhelming, especially because she has no synergy boost, right? So all she has is her angel earrings, and then I slap a level 20 staff on her, and she just doesn't do anything, man. Like, her HP regen, like, it only gives you HP regen for 6 turns, and you have 3 or 4 uses depending on her passives. And her smite also doesn't hit that hard because, again, I don't have her weapon, doesn't have any synergy, she's only using a level 20 Vivi staff. She pretty much hits like a wet noodle, so the only thing is she does some HP regen, but other than that she's kind of dead weight to me, right? So I had to just remove her from the party because she would drag my party down. Like, it would be nice to have that HP regen, but she would deal no damage, so my turns would increase considerably just because I was using Aiko, and yeah, my Aiko is too weak without a weapon. So my Aiko without her weapon I don't think is viable here, but I did use these other teams that I showed you here, and I'm gonna talk a bit more about them. But again, on this one, first kill the turtle, deal with that guy. So that is part 1, pretty easy. Then with part 2, in this part we got Malboro. So here's what you can do on this one. you really need to either deal with the Malboro debuffs or just kill him. These are the two strategies that you can opt out. If you want to kill Malboro, you can use a team like this one where you don't really have a Yuna to take those debuffs off or anything like that. So what you can do is you grab an MLB Squall support, and you also need Ifrit, because if you click on this thing right here, it is weak to fire, right? So you summon your MLB Squall, you pop your Ifrit, and then boom, Squall is just going to tear through this Malboro, and he basically is not going to be able to get a bad breath off. He will not get any kind of debuffs on you. So that is one strategy that you can do. And then the other strategy is you have to remove these debuffs somehow, right? Because those debuffs, the blind especially, that is going to significantly gimp your team. So what you can do for that is, obviously you can do Yuna if you have her, but my Yuna I actually did not use because I don't have her Astral Rod, right? So without her weapon, her Esuna is single target only. Doesn't actually say here. Target, yeah. So it only affects one target, so you can't remove all debuffs from your entire party. You need her Astral Rod. So if you don't have her Astral Rod, this might not be the best way because you have to do one at a time. So what I chose to do instead of using Yuna, I actually chose Ramza. I wanted to do Aiko, but Aiko again doesn't work as she puts one buff only. You need her weapon so she can put 3 buffs. And the reason for that is you stack up these buffs so you can push out the Malboro's debuffs here. You can have up to 5 buffs / debuffs on a character at a time, right? So the Malboro, he'll put like 3 debuffs on you. So what you can do then is you can use Ramza's support, so that puts 2 buffs. It puts up attack up, brave regen, so that's 2 already, plus the 3 debuffs, that's 5. Even if he puts 2, that's still 4, and then you can come in with hope and you do protect and shell, and that's 2 more buffs. So 2 plus 2, that's 4. That means you are going to remove, first off, you are going to remove the blind, and then you are going to remove the speed up, and you may sometimes still have the poison, but getting rid of the blind is essential, and then getting rid of the speed up also helps. So this is what I did for Malboro run. I pretty much used Hope, Vanille, and Ramza. Hope again with the MLB Waka Ball, and then my Ramza, I was lucky enough to have an MLB Enhancer to slap on him, so he did some bit of extra damage for me. Also has his 5-star armor, and then in terms of passive abilities, I do have Mighty Square, which is really nice for that final battle. He gets all these extra stats, so that is his level 50. You need that one. Stealth attack also nice for the increase in brave damage. Then we got Charge Shout, Enhanced Break. We got some low level passive here, low level artifact passives. Triple attack here, not too bad. We got Spire, we got again as much HP as we can, the max brave and the attack obviously. So that is how I did this part right here. This is part 2, like the level 60. So I can deal with the Malboro. And actually, yeah, I guess I used, even though I could have used the MLB Squall, I guess I used a different support here. Not quite sure what happened, but I went ahead with this team right here. So that was part 2, and then for part 3, oh, whoops, picked the wrong one. So we've actually managed to clear up to part 3, or complete up to part 3. So part 3, we got the Iron Giant. So for this one, you don't need the buff strategy, right? You can just use like a different team that has more DPS. I probably used this team right here, and then maybe an MLB Squall or something. This one isn't too bad, right? Like this guy, the Iron Giant, he's fairly easy. You don't have to worry too much about him. And then the Berserker Armor, again. I guess another thing is that the Berserker Armor, he he only uses Berserk when he is 70% HP or lower. If he is 70% or higher, you can still break him and he won't Berserk. So you can get a few brave or a few break bonuses until he gets to level 70% HP. So we gotta keep that in mind. So again, this wasn't too bad. And then for part 4 and part 5, I did not actually manage to do either of these. Now my part 5, the level 81, we have the Marlboro. So again, the best strategy here was to get the MLB Squall, clear the Marlboro real quick. He doesn't get to do any debuffs, so that is nice. So this is the team. This is the best team that I had for this level 80 right here. Again, hope with the MLB Waka from Setzer here. So what happened here is I didn't have enough damage. Basically, I got very close. I got the Berserker Armor to maybe like 10% HP, but that is as much as I can do. That is as the most damage I can do. I got the best possible start. I did multiple runs, I did resets, I did, you know, just to get the best possible outcome, and I wasn't able to get it in the end. As I said, I only managed to get him about 10% health, and that is again because my Vanille, she doesn't hit that hard. Tidus obviously doesn't hit too hard. When Tidus runs out of skills, when we run out of debuffs, Tidus doesn't really do much anymore. But in terms of other characters, Tidus is still the best for me here, just because of those debuffs, and he is still quite good, especially with the passives I have on him. So I tried this team right here, and this one was the best. I also tried Hope Vanille and Ramza. This ended up being worse. And then I was gonna try Hope Vanille and Yuna, but I don't think it's going to make a difference. I'm pretty sure Hope Vanille and Tidus is my best team for this one, and obviously we did not get it, so we are not going to get the timed armor token from that one. And then I also tried this one for fun, just to see how it goes. And this one, yeah, this one you have 5 waves. So you have one wave where you deal with Marlboro alone, and then in the final wave you have 2 Berserker Armors. Now the thing is, the Berserker Armors are level 70, whereas in this one you get the Berserker Armor. The Berserker Armor at the final stage, he is level 80, so he is higher level, and then you obviously have the Marlboro at level 75. So I thought maybe this level 80 is just too much, but what if double level 70s would be easier? But it's not easier. They're still Berserk Armors, they still hit pretty hard, they can still go into haste mode, they still have to go into Berserk mode. You're probably gonna want like maybe double Vanille, like you want Vanille in your party, and then maybe a support Vanille as well, just to be able to deal with the Berserk. This one is probably really hard, and obviously you have to deal with the Marlboro as well, so that's kind of annoying. So this one I would not even attempt, especially since I wasn't even able to do the 4th part. So Vanille I managed to do 3 out of 5. We are gonna have Seymour event. I might pull on that banner, so I might return here and try to do part 4 again. We'll see. We have 5 days left, and I believe Seymour comes in about 3 days or something. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like it's 1 armor token at the end of the day, right? I think I'm good. I think I'm pretty much done. And then finally, let's go with Setzer. I think we covered up pretty much. It's kind of all over the place. Ideally, I would have wanted to have it more synced, but it is what it is. And let's see, for Setzer. So for Setzer, we did 4 out of 5, yeah. And then we actually tried doing the 5th one, the level 90, and it's actually not that bad. But I only got like maybe to 40%, because you have on the final wave you have double ferocious avians, so you have to deal with one, and then the second one I think I only got her to 40%, my best attempt. So let me see if there is anything to talk about on the earlier stages. So let me show you my team. So for my Setzer team, this is what I used. I used the Setzer again with the MLB Waka-Ball. Let's see. He's got his 2 armor pieces right there. In terms of passives, I do have all-in. I got some. I got all-in boost 2 stars, which is kind of nice. But I found out that this all-in is not that great because it only kicks in after you've used your command abilities, right? So, you know, it helps a bit, but at the end of the day, I don't think it makes that huge of a difference because you get these buffs, but then you have no command abilities, so you're just doing brave attacks, right? It's not like you're going to benefit that much from those stats. But anyway, these are the passives. Mighty Red card, we got some more attack here, some more max bravery. Again, all the HP I can get just so we can survive. And that is Setzer, and you pretty much want Setzer in here. I guess I should have talked about, but maybe we'll do it like at the end, a real, you know, an end roundup. Now we have also Laguna here. I was lucky enough to have his level 20 Galbadian machine gun. Laguna is really good here. I did not take his armor pieces, which I could have, but I don't think it would have made any difference really. Like, I'm not really getting any close to finishing the part 5. So Laguna, he's really good here, especially because of his debuffs, like his defense down, speed down, and his attack down from the shotgun. They all are really useful here. In terms of passives, I got some artifact passives in here. I got Charismatic Aura. That's about it, and it's like I didn't even take his HP notes because I don't have that much CP on this guy. So Laguna, he's got the synergy boost, same as Setzer. They both have the synergy boost. They are really good in here. And then obviously Tidus. Tidus was actually again one of my better guys just because of his triple debuffs. Those really go a long way, and he still deals quite a bit of damage. So if we go back, actually, because we didn't talk about the synergy boost, so we did have Setzer and Laguna. They're both really good. And then Yafi, she's not good here, right? Like Yafi, Tifa, they're not really good. And then Yuna is probably not that great either, but she can help with Marlboro, and she's actually not that bad with the Berserker Armor, which I guess I'm reminded of one thing that I didn't talk about. So Berserker Armor, anytime you don't want to break the Berserker Armor, you can use the buffs abilities, right? Like you can use Protect or Shell on Ho. If you have Yuna, you can use Esuna or Cheer. That way you won't break the boss. You will most likely break him with Yuna because she does have a buff ability, but at the same time she doesn't deal that much damage. So even with the Vanille, you might still be able to not break the boss when you need it to. So let's go back into Setzer. So level 60, yeah, not much to talk about in here. I didn't really have any problems there. This one is the level 50. Yeah, this one is really easy actually. But then part 3, this one was interesting. Where we have the, or was it part 4? I'm guessing it was part 4. Okay, yeah, this one. In this one I had quite a bit of problems. Now the waves are pretty hard here because of the floating eyes. So anytime, if you can't one-shot the floating eyes, they are going to counter gaze you with a paralyze. So that is kind of annoying. That might set you back a bit. So you gotta be careful for that. And then in terms of the final boss, we have the Ferocious Avian and the Garuda. So what I was doing, I was trying to kill the Garuda first and then go on to the Ferocious Avian, and that didn't really work out for me, right? So what I did instead was I kept the Garuda alive and I focused on the Ferocious Avian. So that way I was able to kill the Ferocious Avian before my Setzer would run out of abilities, and then just deal with the Garuda by herself, and we managed to get 17,000 points. So yeah, you got different strategies here. I'm telling you what worked for me. So for me, this is the strategy that worked. I just focused on the ferocious avian, killed it first, and then focused on killing the remaining Garuda. So this fight, again, you want to put the debuffs as much as you can, or you know, when you need them. You can put in this team specifically, Tidus does attack down, defense down, speed down, and then obviously Laguna does pretty much the same thing. But a thing that you have to keep in mind is Tidus, he puts triple debuffs for 6 turns, but they have a minus 25% rate that he applies, whereas Laguna's, he applies them for minus 30%. So what that means is if you debuff with Tidus and then you debuff with Laguna, Laguna's debuffs are going to overwrite the Tidus debuffs. So you have to kind of play around with them and try and use them to their max ability, because Laguna, like Tidus, he puts for 6 turns, right? So he's really good, but Laguna, he only puts them for, I want to say 3 turns. Yeah, pretty much 3 turns. Grenade is 3 turns, and then this one as well, 3 turns. And 3 turns is not that much, right? Especially when you only have like 4 uses. Obviously you have 6 uses on this one, but there you go. 3 turns, it's still not that much. I get the 1 more use, defense down, duration. Yeah, I get the triple turns from the weapon right here. So you have to be careful with how the debuffs work in there. And that is pretty much it. And obviously Setzer, you have to kind of save up your red cards and free solids for whenever the ferocious avian gains a lot of bravery. And obviously for vicious, whenever you see the ferocious avian trying to buff herself, you gotta do that freeze ability just to mitigate this vicious, because she will go to like 15.2k bravery, and that is quite a bit. You might not be able to come back if she does that. You're gonna need like Setzer's red card or anything, or anyone that hits real hard. Maybe if you have, I don't know, Bart's with his 35 CP, maybe he could be useful here. I don't know. I wondered if I should use mine, but my Bart's, he's pretty weak. He doesn't have the 35 CP, he only has his 15 CP, and I can't really slot him in here. These characters are just too good to take out. So that is pretty much it. And with the level 5, I guess we've already talked, or the level 90. Again, there's 2 ferocious avians at the end. I used the MLB Squall, we kill 1 ferocious avian, and then the second one I managed to get it to about 40%. Nowhere near to getting this level done. I just need more damage. So that is it for the lost chapters. And also I'm going to show you, and I'm going to put some links down below just for some strategy from other people. So again, just to recap, we did 5 out of 5 for Squall. We used Zidane for the synergy boost. We also used Tidus and Cloud, and we used the Squall with the synergy boost for our support. Not much trouble in here. Fairly easy. Maybe the part 5 a bit more difficult, but it worked. Then Vanille, we used Hope, Vanille, and Tidus, and then we also used Hope, Vanille, and Ramza for one part. I think it was part 3. Yeah, Hope, Vanille, and Ramza for part 3. So we did a total of 3 out of 5. Part 4 we tried really hard, we got like 10%, but it wasn't enough. So Vanille and Hope definitely really good here. Yuna, maybe, she's also nice. She can help with the Marlboro, and then she can help with the Berserker Armor as well, but I'm not sure if she has enough damage. Kind of depends on what you have for your characters. And then finally for Setzer and Laguna, they're both really good. Yuffie probably not that strong. We did 4 out of 5 here with Setzer, Laguna, Tidus. Again, not enough damage. My characters just aren't strong enough to do the last part. And now for the threads here. So on Reddit we got a couple of threads that tried seeking advice from. So we got the first one here, Vanille level 90. So let's read through these real quick, see if we get anything interesting. So again, the best team is apparently Aiko, Hope and Vanille. Yeah, I should have mentioned Aiko. So Aiko, she is one of the MVPs on these 3 last chapters. Aiko, she is really good, but you probably want her weapon. Without her weapon, she's kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie, she's probably kind of bad. So let's see. For the wave, or for the level 90 final wave, tricks. Focus on one boss, save your dispels until one boss is dead, never break the boss you plan to kill, only break the one with full HP to avoid Berserk. So you can use that one guy as sort of a brave battery. It's okay to take some HP damage, simply use HP regen to stay alive, so you kinda need Aiko for that, just to be able to stay alive. Save your summon until the very end. When one boss is down, things are more difficult. It's very hard to avoid breaking the boss when there's only one target. Use your dispel, and if you bring friend Cloud, try to stun the boss. So there you go, we have some advice right there. And then we have this one here, completed all lost chapters. Let's see, for Vanille and Setzer level 90, used Aiko, Vanille and Setzer level 20 Ifrit. Aiko and Vanille, no MLB weapons. Okay, Vanille level 90, cleared within 158. Bosses will HP attack when they have about 2.4. Setzer, I guess there's not much advice here, but mainly team composition. He did Setzer with Setzer 15 CP, Aiko 15 CP, Laguna. Again, you see Aiko in there. Aiko is really good, but I showed you what I did with my teams, and I guess I could say that since I do have Ace 35 CP, Ace is actually not as good as Tidus. Tidus is still better than Ace just because of the debuffs. Those debuffs are really nice to have. So Ace, he didn't make it to the team. Okay, we have some more commentary here. Let's see. This guy, he used Setzer, Prish and Tidus. This one is for Setzer. So Setzer, Prish, Tidus, but I think he doesn't say how many limit breaks he had. Maybe he was like pretty geared. Give some more strat advices here. Okay, and then this one. Hardest Setzer level with Setzer 15 CP, Laguna 15 CP and Aiko 15 CP. 0 limit breaks on that one. So there you go, guys. Those are the strategies in short. This is what I managed to do with my teams. All in all, out of 15 hard mode levels, we did 12 out of 15, so I'm happy with that. We are gonna see what happens. We're probably not gonna try and do more, maybe with Seymour event. But anyway, guys, this has been long enough, almost 40 minutes. Jesus, man. Yeah, we gotta stop. So anyway, guys, let me know what your thoughts are about these last chapters. Are you enjoying them? Are you struggling with them? But anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I shall see you in the next one. We are going to be streaming some more Dissidia every day at 7 PM GMT at twitch.tv/MrPantaloons. And until then, you guys have a good one, and I shall see you next time. Take care.